Hello everyone. I'm happy to make this YouTube recording and invite all of you to participate in our 10-year reunion. We've come a long way from being a kind of upstart school in Williamsburg, sharing a building with a middle school, moving to the Lower East Side, and then starting a second school in Long Island City. Those two schools are great examples of the BHSEC model, and we have news that in September there'll be a third BHSEC opening, this one in Newark, New Jersey. I've actually decided to come out of retirement for a short time and help begin that school, so I'll be starting there as principal in September. Bard College's commitment to the early college movement is something that's really quite incredible. We've always been able to turn to Bard as an example of the model that we want to follow. Many of you, after graduating from BHSEC, in fact went on to study at Bard. And we want to celebrate our connection with that larger constellation of schools, not only BHSEC Manhattan, BHSEC Queens, now BHSEC Newark, but also Bard College, Simon's Rock, and all the other programs that are affiliated with it. It's gained a kind of national recognition for the early college movement, and I think we're all proud to know that the BHSEC model is one that's really exemplary. I've been lucky enough to be at the first BHSEC school for 9 years and see many classes across the stage for their diplomas, and then be joined by the Queens campus. It's something that I'm incredibly proud of, to know all of you and to know the faculty and to have experienced how all of those people have worked so hard, and to have stayed in touch with you as you go on to your follow-up education and careers, and to get letters from you and hear about your progress. One of the things that you know that is part of the texture of the BHSEC work is the beginning of every semester with writing and thinking workshops. And we want to return to those focus free writes that are so near and dear to all of your hearts. And we'd like to propose that for this 10th year anniversary, perhaps you'll do one or another response to a prompt that I'm about to give you. One of the prompts has to do with Socrates' conversation with Phaedrus. This may be something that you read in your seminar. I'm going to read directly from the Phaedrus. Socrates says, "My dear Phaedrus, whence come you, and whither are you going?" Well, you know, we don't exactly phrase things that way today, but maybe a clearer, more contemporary rephrasing that you might respond to would be, where are you coming from, and where are you going? If you could write a little bit about that, consider how life has changed for you since embarking on the BHSEC journey, and why you continue to move ahead with your own individual path through life. That would be great. I think that prompt allows you to do that kind of reflection. But there's another prompt that you may want to consider if you were part of the class of 2003 or the class of 2005, because those two classes, of course, began at BHSEC in Williamsburg in the year 2001. The most memorable day of BHSEC's first academic year was no doubt Tuesday, September 11th. It was a local election day. It was the middle of the writing and thinking workshops. And of course, it was the day that the World Trade Towers were struck by flights 11 and 175. In preparation for our 10th BHSEC reunion, we have been asked to remember some part of that day in a short piece of informal writing. And what we'd like you to do is maybe frame some image of your memory of that day and shape it in a way that it brings you in contact with your memory and imagination of how our school began, what that dramatic time did for our beginning in terms of framing it and bringing us together as much as possible. Now, modern technology and platforms like this allow us not only to write free writes in a dialectical notebook, but also you can choose to read your response back and maybe make a YouTube recording of your own. And I think you have the information about how to send that in. But if you choose to send in just your writing, let's use email to do that. Please send your finished written pieces via email to Kathy Islin. Kathy is our Director of Development, and her email address is cislin@bsec.bard.edu. And we look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on September 10th at 1:30 in the garden at the BHSEC Lower East Side campus. We think it's going to be a great reunion. We want to hear your ideas and reflections. We want to see your YouTubes, but we also want to see you in person. Thanks so much to all of you for making these 10 years a kind of innovative change and a kind of revolution in a way in what education can be. You're all very important to us, and we're thrilled that you're going to see us on September 10th.